Hello, welcome to another speed build video. My name is Myler. Hello again. So this video is a little bit different. Sorry I don't have the comment right in front of me currently, but somebody recommended me to try to make a ranch style house, but in my own style, like without using reference photos and without using a floor plan, I'm assuming. And yeah, I thought it was a good idea, something different for me to try. Normally every video I do is with a floor plan from, the time period. And this one is purely from my brain and kind of like how I would like a ranch house to be, I guess. I will say it ended up being somewhat similar layout to like the house that I grew up in when I was a kid. I grew up in Riverside, California, in a neighborhood that was all suburban ranch houses, all built at like the same time in the mid-50s. And mine was sort of this L shape with a long hallway and 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, kind of in the same layout. I will say like where the hallway is and where these bedrooms are, that's what I'm putting the doors on in that part, is pretty much the same layout. The rest of the house isn't. The rest of the house is different, but it's almost the same layout as the house I grew up in. And it's kind of just the house that my brain diverts to, I guess, when, you ask me like what kind of ranch house would you like to live in? It'd probably be that one, because I genuinely really liked that house and I liked the layout of it a lot. So I took some elements of that one, but most of this is just, whatever I could think of, I guess, and just became a unique little house that isn't from a floor plan, so it's different. I will say this was much easier to make in some sense than doing one from a floor plan, just because I didn't have to abide by the strictness of that. I didn't have to try to get it, as perfect as I could. I just got to do what I wanted to do. And that same goes for the style inside. If you thought that my personal style was any different than like the mid-century style, you'd be wrong. If I could live in like a perfect mid-century surrounded by vintage items, like that would be my dream. It always has been, I've always been really into old stuff my whole life. So that would extend absolutely into the house that I would live in. So this basically became like my mid-century dream home in a way. I think if you actually had to go with like a dream home, I'd probably prefer to live in like a 1930s Tudor, probably, because that's just, they're so beautiful. But I do really like mid-century houses and ranches, of course, because I grew up in one. I really like it. And we're kind of on a ranch streak for this channel, because that's kind of the only thing my creativity levels can really handle at the moment. And I ended up going for ketchup and mustard house, just yellow and red. I really like the punchiness of the colors. The house that I grew up in was blue and white. It had been repainted many times since like before we had it, so I have no idea if those like are what the original colors were or not, but I like the punchiness of the brightness of the yellow and red and the contrast. And I wanted to have a window on that little dining room portion where the white wall is, but I couldn't figure out how to have one in the front because I like symmetry. Like for the most part, I like things to look balanced, and I just didn't want a weird little window on the side. So I just made a big picture window. But like this whole driveway thing that I'm making here, all this pavement is like the exact same layout as the house that I grew up in. We had one of those big long driveways and our garage was on the side. This garage is really tiny and not realistic. You'll see once I put like a car in there, you probably could not park a car in it in reality, but I don't drive, so it's just for show anyways. And yeah, this whole layout here is pretty much the exact same as the house I grew up in. It's like on one end I got to, be a bit more creative, but on the other end I just kind of used what I knew already, so I don't know, whatever. It's hard to be creative right now. Like, I'm sure you guys have heard plenty of people talk about it, but with the coronavirus lockdown and everything, like, I'm so zapped for creativity and so just unmotivated to do anything. So this was the best that I could do. Like, but this took me forever even just to edit, just because I have no like motivation to do anything at the moment. Today was the first day that I like did my hair, and that was a lot. It was a big thing. I'm still wearing pajamas every single day. So I've been furloughed. I didn't mention that in the last video, but so yeah, I'm pretty much out of a job. Everything's so weird right now, and I don't know how to cope with it. I don't know how to process it. I've been seeing people talk about how this is unprecedented times, and I keep having to tell myself that, you know, there isn't a rule book by which you have to be coping with it. You know, I don't have to be working out constantly to better myself during this time. I don't have to be learning a new craft. I don't have to be doing anything to really, I don't know, make the most of this time, because it's just, this is a hard time. It's going to be a hard time, and pretending like it isn't helping. So every day I'm just kind of like, let's just get through the day and move on and get closer to when we'll be done with it. And maybe that's not the best, I don't know, that's not the most uplifting and like happy thing to say. There's a lot of people on YouTube who are trying to be like super positive and try to be really helpful for people like that. For me, it just doesn't work. The reality of it is it sucks, and I'm not really processing it that well, and I'm sort of avoiding it at this point. So yeah, that's all I'll mention of coronavirus. Ugh. I feel like every video I just kind of have to say something about it, because this is just such a weird, I don't know. That is the reason why these are taking a bit longer. I thought, oh, I have all this time, I will, you know, be able to churn out videos like it's nothing. But the reality of it is I'm exhausted without even doing anything, because of how shitty everything is. It's just taking a toll on me mentally, and that's okay. So get videos when you get them. You'll get your mid-century ranches when you get them. That's just the way it is here. So yeah, I put a ton of flowers and everything around here because it just makes me happy. All the brightness and everything makes me really happy. It's kind of like how I'm playing my Animal Crossing game right now. I'm still playing that every single day. Every day I wake up and like, okay, gotta check my thing. But I have flowers everywhere in that, and I'm starting to do like the hybrid flowers and everything, and that I guess just translated into this build as well. I wanted flowers everywhere. Even this wallpaper in the kitchen is a flowery one. But yeah, you can see here, this isn't like, so I was from the get-go pretty much taking this as like my mid-century dream house. So everything in here is how I would decorate it, as closely, you know, as I could in The Sims, like with what we have there in the game. This is how I would have it. I wouldn't, you know, go through and renovate the whole kitchen, or you know, change the whole layout or anything like that. Like, I like segmented rooms. I like, you know, everything being a little bit more closed off. I like this tiny dining room, which this is uploaded on the gallery now. So if you want this house or any of my other ones, they're all on the gallery. My username there is the same as here, which is just my name. It's myloranne, but there's 4 N's. So it's always linked down in the description if you want to go check it out. But I did have to move that dining table back a little bit, just so you didn't have to walk the long way around every time. So you could actually walk from the living room through the dining room into the kitchen. Having it perfectly centered, it just messes with the squares in the game, the grid. So you have to move it back a little bit, which I actually forgot to check if the other chairs then work. If they don't, I'm sorry. But I think it's fine. I don't know. Another thing I really wanted to have is big windows. That's something a lot of mid-century ranches tended to have because they had a lot of wall space. They would have huge panes of glass, and at that time it was a relatively newer thing to have in a house. You know, mid-century style was kind of where big panes of glass became a feature. That's why picture windows were big, And if you look at a lot of mid-century modern houses, they tend to have a lot of glass elements in them. And the house that I grew up in did as well. Our one half of our living room wall was completely glass windows and a sliding door going to the backyard. And I wanted a little bit of that. I didn't want it to all be glass because personally, I don't know about you guys, but you know when it's dark outside and you've got glass windows and you just see blackness outside? Absolutely terrifying to me. Just the idea that there might be somebody out there or something out there, terrifying. So a little bit of big glass windows in here, not a lot. And of course, sliding glass windows, I feel like that's a key thing in a lot of ranches. So I've got 2 of those here. And I would 100% have this little piggy in my house if it were real. I would totally have. I do have actually a vintage piggy bank. It's this little black pig. It's very cute. But yeah, I was kind of going for like if I had this house now. So I would have a TV. I would have, my sort of decorating taste. So this isn't purely vintage, I guess. It's not how my other builds are where it's as if it were in that time period. This is more like if you had this house but today. And I really I would totally live here 100%. This is basically my dream house if I had to have a ranch. So yeah, this living room is a little bit awkward in size and I was not sure what to fill it with. I think in reality, I probably wouldn't have all of this furniture in here. I probably wouldn't have this little table. I don't know what it would be, but I probably wouldn't have this because it serves no purpose. It's just decorative. It just looks nice, but I don't know. I wouldn't have it. I don't think. I just didn't know what to fill that space with. And same with this. It's just kind of okay, chuck some decorative crap in here. But I mean, there'd probably be wood here. We just don't really have wood logs in the game. So, but it'd probably be a little wood log space for a wood burning fireplace because I don't like gas fireplaces. They freak me out. I have a weird fear against fires. So growing up in Southern California, I mean, wildfires are every single year and I've had way too many close encounters with them. So I have a weird fear of fire and gas fire specifically. At one point, this is an anecdote, I guess, but at one point when I was in high school, we lived across the street from a motel and it was kind of a shady motel. And there was a bomb exploded in the motel. Nobody died. A few people were hurt, but it was a meth lab. Maybe this isn't a fun story, but yeah, anyways, so I saw that that explode and everything. It just freaked me the hell out. So many fire trucks came from all these other counties and stuff, and lined our whole street with fire trucks and EMTs and everything. And they had to shut off the gas because they were worried that it might have been a gas explosion. Anyways, not a fun story. Okay, moving on. I also went for ketchup and mustard theme for this bathroom. So I love this red tile in this game. I think if this were real, it would be beautiful. I don't know, red's not my favorite color or anything. I think in reality, if I could have the perfect bathroom, it would be this blue and purple tile that I've seen a couple times in Tudor houses from the 1930s and stuff. I just think the blue and purple, it's a light kind of pastel blue and purple. I think those are gorgeous. But red tiles are just, you don't see it very often either, in modern day. Everyone has a white bathroom now, and I get it. It's a cleanliness thing, but it's so boring, and it shows every bit of scum and dirt in your bathroom, which bathrooms just acquire that naturally. That's how they are. And I don't know. I feel colorful bathrooms are just way more fun, way more inviting, less sterile. But I get why people like the white bathrooms. I just personally would love a ketchup and mustard bathroom. The other bathroom in here, I make blue and yellow, I think. I was really feeling the yellow the day that I made this house. Everything had yellow in it for some reason. Yellow, I think, is becoming like a new favorite color for me. I got my Switch in the yellow color, and I really like it. This is the office. So that last bedroom was just like a guest bedroom, which I have to have plaid. Like, what is a lesbian without plaid, you know? So had to have a plaid bedroom, and I had a little bit of like the cowboy stuff in there. I love cowboy, like Western theming and Southwestern stuff. I'm really tempted. I just saw this like bundle on Etsy from somebody who she bundles like Southwestern decor for $30, like a whole bunch of different items. I'm really tempted to buy it. That's unrelated to this, but I really am tempted to buy some Southwestern stuff right now. I just am like, should I? Because all the delivery drivers and everything, I don't want to add to it. I feel guilty. So this, if I could, this probably would have like a lot more cat stuff in it if this were a real house and this were my office, because I would probably have at least 2 cats. Right now I can't have cats because we're renting and we can't have cats here, but also my girlfriend is allergic to cats, but she gets over it. Like, she's had a cat before, so she gets over it. But I would absolutely have a whole bunch of cat crap in here. So there's some little posters of cat things in there to show that. I really like cutesy like decor items too. I have a lot of knickknacks and crap around my house. It's just because it's cute, and I would absolutely have that here if I had like a 50s ranch. But I also really like darker jewel tones, so that's why I went for this green color in here. I don't think I would want like a really busy wallpaper in a bedroom, because I would want it to feel like very calming and comfortable. So dark jewel tone colors give me that vibe more than, you know, the rest of the house is very light in the wall colors and everything, but bedroom, I just want it to be dark, easy to sleep in. I'm one of those people who can't have lights on really when I'm sleeping, so except for a TV, but that's a whole other thing. Yeah, and I use that rug in almost every single house, and so I thought, of course, I'd put it here. Oh, and this is sort of an homage to how I decorate right now. An elevated version of it, I guess. I like to collect a lot of old, like, vintage photos. Usually when you go to, like, thrift stores or vintage stores, they'll have, like, bins of photos that you can get for $1, and it's, like, random people's family photos that maybe they didn't, I don't know, they didn't have anywhere or didn't want them, so they just donated them to a thrift store or something. So I have a bunch of those on my walls, and I have a bunch of random postcards and photos and stuff like that. That's kind of just how I like to decorate. So that's, this little gallery wall thing is sort of my homage to that. It just looks a lot nicer than what I actually have in reality, but you know, same idea, I guess. And then this is the master bathroom. Pretty simple. I was like struggling with this bathroom because I wasn't sure what color scheme I really wanted. So I just went blue everywhere and I didn't try too hard with it, I guess. But I do like the separate shower and tub thing. And the yellow, what do they call them when they're in bathrooms? I don't know. The yellow fixtures? No. Yellow stuff. Not really sure what they call, like, the toilet. And I know there's a word for like toilet, sink, and tub as a collective group. I can't remember what the word is. Oh well. The backyard is not anything special, to be honest. It's kind of just a little bit of like seating and some plants, but I did move the house towards the middle of the lot, which made the backyard really tiny. But I'd prefer to have more of a covered, like, deck space rather than a whole bunch of yard, because that's a lot to maintain. And you're mostly going outside, I think, to get a bit of sunshine and to sit and relax. And I don't think I would need a whole lot of grass personally, so I don't really mind it. It's a small backyard with a whole lot of decorative things, because I'd probably buy a lot of random decorative crap. These chairs are also very like 50s to me. I've used them before, but I like them in the green color. I've never used them in the green color, and I just think it looks really cute with the yellow and everything. So yeah, and then I just add a little bit of greenery back here to kind of fill in the space. I always, when I get to this point of decorating a house, I'm just like, I'm always kind of over it. To be honest, I'm always just like, oh, whatever, it's just a backyard. It's not that big of a deal. The house that I grew up in, the backyard was crazy. It had this weird like checkerboard of brick and plants, and I don't think I could even begin to recreate it in The Sims. It was really, really dramatic. There's this huge tree that they ended up having to take down after we moved. A branch from it actually fell through the roof into the kitchen. So good thing we moved, I guess. But yeah, my backyard then, I don't know if it was original to the house, but it was huge and very different from this one. So yeah, here's the screenshots. I hope you enjoyed this one. Sorry I rambled so much, as always, but if you got this far, please leave me a like. Oh yeah, there's my Sim self. Hey, it's me. But thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.